Okay, recording this video on Wednesday, the 9th of December 2020. It's just gone 6:53 a.m. Chicago time. It's 1:53 in the afternoon here in France. Do hope you are doing well. So that's a shame we couldn't get through the 20,000 level on Bitcoin. And I'm just going to show you my charts and show you why we couldn't get through. Spent a couple of days kind of knocking up against it, but it was just, for the time being, has become a bridge too far. So I'll show you two Bitcoin charts, the 10,000 tip bar chart and then the daily chart of Bitcoin, both of which are showing kind of major resistances there at the 20,000 level and what we're going to have to do in order to break through there. Plus, just to review the daily chart of the Emini, and you know, the equities just keep on pushing up and up. At some point we'll have an opportunity, but I'll just show you those charts as well. Anyway, so this is the usual chart setup, two charts side by side. On the right-hand side, we have beta sine wave beneath the price bars, calculating the cyclical energy in 3 different time frames, which allows us to plot support and resistance lines on the price bars themselves, and those breaks of support and resistance gives us uptrends and downtrends. Uptrends and strength are shown in red, downtrends and weakness are shown in white. And then on the left-hand side, everything to do with volume. We've got better momentum below the price bars, calculating the volume momentum. And on the price bars themselves, better Pro-Am, which uses the average trade size to identify professional and amateur activity. Professionals painted in blue. So let's have a look. First of all, this is the 10,000 tip bar chart. This is BTC USD, which is a pretty good proxy for Bitcoin. It's kind of the Forex type contract that comes out of TradeStation. We talked about the different kind of symbols to use on Bitcoin in a previous video, but this one's pretty handy to show us what's going on at the moment. And let me just back it down. You can see professional activity is the things that we need to kind of follow. And we had, the last time we talked about this was we were breaking through the 12,000 mark here. Whole bunch of blue professional bars, and that was a gathering pattern beneath a previous resistance point, kind of getting ready for the launch, and the professionals are just gobbling up everything in sight. And we didn't see a professional bar till this one up here, just shy of the high up here, kind of 19.5 type level. One little blue professional bar came in, and we had a really sharp kind of decline into the 16,000 kind of 500 with an exhaustion sell level comes in there. Little amateur down bar, which is the testing bar, and we break up from there back up to the just under the 20,000 level, 19,915. And this is what's happened since. We kind of knew that that level was going to be important for the professionals, and they were just waiting kind of basically as a trap up here to get everybody excited with a possible breakthrough the 20,000 level into a really strong new uptrend into the 20s, and know they were taking profits. And they're taking profits because we can see all the blue professional bars, whole family of them coming in there, and on the retrace exactly the same thing. And we were due for a decline because when we tested back into this 19.5 level here, look at this, it's all amateur up bars underneath the lip there, as I call it. Amateurs kind of pushing up, hoping to go through 19,000 through 20,000, kind of go further than that. No. This time around, the professionals have taken their profits up here for the time being, and it's kind of sold off. Not as sharp as the last decline, but we'll have to wait and see where the professionals kind of step back in. So, you know, this move was kind of started off with exhaustion, you know, a whole bunch of activity getting here. I think this was exhaustion buying, really getting the move going. Because we've had this exhaustion sell at this point here, before the whole thing's all over, we need to see exhaustion buy, and we have not seen that yet. So into this kind of new level up here in the above the 17,000s, we've not seen exhaustion buy level. So I think we will get that at some point, but we just possibly are going to go through a little bit of pain on this retrace until we find a level where the professionals come back in, maybe get kind of a short, sharp shock with a flush pattern down here, which would be a fairly decent kind of sell read, and professionals kind of stepping back in and deciding to get involved in the next up leg. But that's why we've fallen off. Professionals taking profits up here at 19 or under 20,000, and then amateurs testing into those highs, getting wrong-footed at that point, and we've kind of fallen off from there. Cyclically, you can see the same thing as well. It's like this whole thing broke into a huge uptrend, breaks above the intermediate and the highest time frame into a really strong uptrend, and this thing is not over because we've broken above resistance on the highest time frame, we need to go and see pullback to end of trend on that highest time frame, and that's exactly what we had. Pullback to end of trend on those highest time frame, which is those thick lines there. And then with this activity here, bang, we've broken into weakness, kind of with white bars here, confirmed downtrend at that point. So we're going to find support on this highest time frame at this point here, but we'll probably have to see some little end of trends. It's been a nice little kind of retracement rally here. I'm not sure what the number was here on the low, 17,639, and we've kind of bounced back into the 1800s, but this is not going to be done on the downside, not until we see, you know, this support coming on the highest time frame, pullback to end of trends, professional bars step in, and so on, and potentially some amateur bars with you know, amateurs kind of getting wrong-footed and taking profits at the wrong point in time. But there we go. It's sad that we couldn't get through 20,000. We had some warnings here with these little signals. They're a little simple system that I've got where it's the second cyclical turn after an end of trend. Those markings, those system markings kind of come up. And so that showed us that we were having trouble kind of dropping through there. On the daily chart, we've also had some trouble here because we were finding resistance on the intermediate time frame. So this is at BTC, which is the futures contract. And yep, we were in a strong uptrend here, but I said when I recorded this video last time I was pointed this out, I think we were sitting at 14 or 15,000. But eventually that cyclical pattern did kind of come in, and so it showed us you know, resistance on this daily chart, plus all those blue professional bars kind of come in here on the daily chart here. So we had them down at the bottoms. On the retrace here, you can see that exhaustion sell. They came in there, and then the blue professional bars kind of stepped in as well. It's not over on the upside. We're still going to go higher because we haven't seen exhaustion buy up here. We need to see a signal like that in order to kind of roll the market over. So we'll go through 20,000 eventually, but we're just going to have to sit through a little bit of retrace, some shaking out of some weak hands, and see where the professionals kind of step back in. So we're above resistance on the lowest time frame here on the daily chart. So this has to go pull back to end of trend at some point. And so the next place I'd be looking for support to kind of come in and make that push through 20,000 is when we get a daily cross here. So we'll need these two lines to come together on the daily chart. That may be lining up with, you know, cyclical support on this 10,000 tip bar chart. Have to kind of wait and see. But yeah, just expect some weakness for the time being until everything comes together. So E-mini, just quickly, we're getting really kind of overbought here. This is the daily chart at ES.D, just day session only. It's got this little extra bit on the equal 106x3, which just means the volume data is slightly shifting the day that we roll over to a day later than the TradeStation kind of normal data. But this is just a daily kind of chart here. You can just hear we've got this little family of Rambo patterns kind of going on here. I always look, when we get a sequence like that, I'm always looking for the low of that whole sequence, whether it's, you know, kind of on this bar here, the low at 36.42, or the low of this bar here, 35.92. So around that 36 kind of level, I know we're 100 points past it, but you know, at 3600, that would be an interesting level for a correction. Just like this one here, you know, we kind of moved past that, and then all of a sudden, very nasty kind of down days, and we kind of broke through the lows of those kind of Rambo patterns and all that amateur activity. So it's pushing higher, but it's on smaller and smaller volume and smaller average trade size. So at some point we'll have a little bit of a roll to the other side, but not yet. So just watch out for that. Anyway, there we go. A couple of charts, one on Bitcoin, one on the E-mini. Let's see what happens over the next couple of days.